Most of us think adventure has to begin somewhere far away, but what if you drew a 1 mile radius around a place you normally drive past and explored it on foot? I tried that near the Buffalo Bills Stadium. It was not a remote wilderness adventure, and that was the point. It showed me how a trail built to get people outside and walking can change what you notice close to home. The rules were simple: choose one public starting point, explore the surrounding area on foot, bring a camera, pay attention to whatever happens instead of trying to manufacture a perfect adventure. The distance wasn't the challenge. The challenge was seeing whether a familiar looking place could be an interesting one. The Highmark Trail sits near the stadium in Orchard Park. Most of the time, people come to this area for a Bills game, an event, or the stores and businesses nearby. They have a destination, get there and leave. I wanted to see what happened when the destination became the area itself. The trail includes fitness features, signs, stadium-themed details, and places where people can stop, walk, and take photographs. It feels like a great addition to the community because it gives people an accessible reason to get outside and move. I brought a camera because photography is a big part of the journey for me. Almost immediately, I ran into a problem. When I tried to photograph the first sign, the camera wouldn't focus properly with the settings I had saved. That could have become an excuse to become frustrated or abandon the footage. Instead, I used my phone. That became one of the most useful lessons from the outing. The purpose was not to prove that I had the perfect equipment or knew everything about camera settings. The purpose was to explore and document what I found. The best camera that day was the one that allowed me to continue, the phone. It showed me that this was not just a path on a map. It was a place people were actually using. People were walking, stopping, taking photos, and moving through the area in their own way, a real addition to the community. That is something I probably would have not noticed from the car. When you slow down, you do not just see the signs and the scenery, you see how a place fits into everyday life. The point is not to make every place look dramatic. The point is to notice what the place is actually doing for the people around it. While planning these outings, I've been reading books from Bo Miles' The Backyard Adventure and Alistair Humphrey's Local and Micro Adventures. Their work has been reminding me of a simple idea. Adventure doesn't always have to depend on a spectacular destination. Sometimes it comes from changing the rules of an ordinary day. This is my interpretation of what I've been reading, not a quotation from any of the authors. For this outing, the change rule was the radius. Instead of asking, where is the most impressive place I can visit? Of course, Highmark Stadium and the Highmark Trail are impressive. I asked, what is here that I haven't paid attention to? That question removes one of the biggest barriers to adventure. You don't necessarily need a plane ticket, a week off, expensive equipment, or a distance trail. You need a starting point, a boundary, and enough curiosity to look more closely. The book gave me the lens. The trail gave me the adventure. The walk gave me a chance to test it. The honest truth is that Highmark Trail is not trying to be a remote wilderness trail. It's a community trail, visible, accessible, close to roads, close to the stadium, and built so people have another reason to get outside and walk. I saw the stadium from a different perspective. I discovered features around the trail that I wouldn't have noticed on the road. I paid closer attention to how the trail was actually being used. I learned that my camera settings didn't need to work, and I proved that when the planned camera failed. The outing gave me information, footage, and a story. A local experiment doesn't have to be spectacular to be worthwhile. A great community trail can still get people walking, noticing, and using a space differently. After the walk, I went across the street to the Bills store and picked up a new Bills hat. I usually get 1 or 2 a year, so it became an unexpected personal ending to the day. It wasn't part of the plan, that's what made it fit. The best detail from a small adventure may be something you couldn't have written into an itinerary beforehand. You create the conditions for something to happen, then remain open to whatever the day gives you. This was the field test of the Walk the Radius project. The idea is straightforward. Choose a public starting point, establish the boundary, explore it on foot, bring a camera, a notebook, and return with an honest account of what actually is there. Some locations will be beautiful, some will produce better stories and sceneries, teach you to notice what is already there as part of the project. The purpose isn't to make every square mile look extraordinary, it's to become more curious about the places we usually overlook. Think of a place near you that you normally drive past, a park, a trailhead, a train station, a familiar neighborhood. What might you find if you give yourself 1 mile and explored it on foot? You don't need to ruck to begin. Walk first, ruck when you're ready. I'm grateful to the Buffalo Bills and everyone involved in making this trail and the new stadium possible. It gave me a new place close to home to walk, explore, and notice. Wishing the Bills a wonderful season, and always go Bills.